Hi everyone, thank you for joining me at Lori Houston Art, and thank you for joining me and my friends on this Thursday night rock and pour. We have two very special guests. We're starting off with Donna from It's Art by Donna, and we're finishing up with Shelly Anderson Art. Let's get started. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me at Lori Houston Art. We are going to do a 12 by 24 inch flower pop today. I've got some really fun colors. We're going to use some of the Tri-Art, they're fluid. These are their liquid acrylic paints, better known as fluid paints. And the first color I have is the Ari Yellow Deep. Real pretty color, bright. Then we've got some good old Bordeaux red from Arteza, gorgeous. Then I'm going to use some of the quinacridone red, another Tri-Art, one of their fluids. And ironically, it's a really bright, brilliant pink when it's mixed. I've got a little bit of Tri-Art Interference Orange. And we're going to be swiping with 24 karat gold. So we are going to have some fun. It's kind of odd how it's doing that already, isn't it? We are putting down the Bordeaux red, and I'm going to layer them just no rhyme or reason. Boy, that's beautiful. Okay, I don't know if I've done a flower pop in these exact colors, but I think it's going to be pretty. I've used most of these paints that I've mixed, and I just mixed them in a cup and poured them in these bottles. Makes it easier. That's a nice bright one too. And I don't know what made me want to use some of the interference orange. I thought it would be fun to mix with the colors that we have. Okay, I'm going to go through, and I'm actually just going to kind of cover the canvas a little bit more. I don't know if I'm going to mix the colors together before I swipe. I typically don't know that until I tilt it around. You can kind of tell how the colors gel together. When you're doing these flower pops, if you have too much of a mixture, it'll turn out all the same color. So you've got to figure out how you're going to make a distinction with the flowers. I do think that this turned out beautiful. The finished results, it's got to be in my top 10 favorites. But again, every time I do this, I am studying the color palette. At this point right here, I'm thinking, should I take a palette knife and mix it all together? And will this swipe color have enough brightness to pull those petals and make it look like a flower? So as I'm fiddling, always covering the edges, even though a swipe or when you use the spatula, it's going to cover them. But what I'm doing now, it's a thinking process this whole time. I typically will turn the camera off right now. Sometimes I'll go get my husband. Sometimes I'll just wing it. And with this this color palette, it does look like the colors are bright enough to where I can just swipe without mixing them together. That's what I think I decide to do. I am wearing a pink bracelet. I just showed you that. There was a little girl who had her mom selling these bracelets at the art show I was at last Sunday, and it represents the Barbie movie, so I thought I would wear that. So I hope she's doing great, and I love my purchase that I got, my bracelet. It's my good luck bracelet. Okay, so we're gonna lay the 24 karat gold down, and I start at the top, and then I kind of push it against the paint. That way, when you're putting your line down, if you want a thick line, I want a thick line on this one. I want more gold to cover this at the top. And if you're going to do a surface pull, which is what this plastic does, it is a surface pull. You can see the gold is staying on top of the surface. If you want the gold to be more down into the paint, you would use the paper towel. It's lighter, it soaks up more paint, so you're going to pull the paint and the gold together. On this one, I really wanted more gold on the surface. I am not happy with the 2 areas I left. This wasn't the time. I call that a chaos swipe. It wasn't the time to have, I wanted a more perfect background. So let me show you what I do to fix that. Okay, while I tilt this out, I just want to give a shout out to Donna, It's Art by Donna, and Shelly Anderson Art. They not only are great artists, check out their channel, but they are also really great friends. I just cannot thank them for all of their support in my art journey, and I would love for you to check out their channel, sub if you haven't, and I want to thank them both for being a part of our train this evening. You guys are great, and I'm very humbled to have you with us. Perfect, right there. There we go. Now it has more of a not such a defined look. All right, let's get our black and let's start blowing the flowers. I will see you there. Okay, I have decided to do a chain pull in that area that did not fully get covered. I'm going to show you real quick. When I am putting the chain down here, it is all about where you place that first piece of chain. After that, the sky's the limit. You can do anything with the chain, any type of design, and all you do is pull. Very gently you pull. So you just want to make sure that you cover your chain with the color that's going to show the most. So this one, because there's a lot of open areas, I'm taking some of that black paint. I am following through on some of those wispy edges. And you can see right there, just adding that little bit of wisp, it gives it some definition. Now I've decided to do a taller chain. And what I'm doing is I'm going to show you, there's the chain. That's the size that I got from Amazon. And I cut them down for smaller, or I go ahead and I make them go all the way to the top as far as I can go when I'm pulling. So I want this piece to be a little bit longer than the other side. So I am covering the chain in black paint. And the black paint that I'm using is the same 2.5 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. The same, all my paints were mixed this way. I might have used a little bit, maybe 2.75 ounces, just because they were fluid paints. But they are very, this one might be a little bit thicker. It's been setting in the bottle. And the key here is just to make sure your chain is completely covered. And then make sure you run your fingers over the chain so there's no excess that's going to drip down on your canvas. Again, that first piece that you lay down is what matters. In this particular application, I did not want a lot of extra with the chain. That's why I made it a little bit more straight when I pulled. So I've created a line for my stem, and this was a very, very long video. I think it was 35 minutes, everyone, and I had to cut it down to a 15-minute slot. So I use my palette knife, and you've all seen me a million times on these flower pops where I just create a line, and I've decided to put a vine of flowers down the center between these 2 chain pulls. I am just in love with that longer top up close. It's got just a tiny bit of wispiness to it, and I'm just going to do some tiny flowers and go through. And when you're doing small flowers, and I put a little bit too much black paint there at the bottom, and that flower ends up being a little larger, but it still looks okay. I will take a spoon, you can see, getting some of that black out of there. But these tiny flowers shrink back into the paint so easy. When you're not blowing a full petal, the paint just wants to sink back in. I mean, which is obvious because it's fluid. And if you make it thicker, thinking that it will hold, then you get cracking. So your consistency in the paint, 2.5 to 3 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint, and some water will work as long as you get enough paint off the canvas. So it's your mixture of paints, how much you leave on the canvas, and then you see these flowers shrinking a little bit. You've got to go back with your straw and do a puff. I just puff at the top, and that makes the flower stay. After you've been working on it a little while, the paints start to gel. So I've decided, do I want to put a small vine here? And I decide to do just 3 flowers, I believe. And just, I don't want this to be too busy, especially since it's all, you can see what I was talking about with the same colors. So since it's a lot of the same color, I just want this to be, I don't know, it reminds me of that oriental flower. Maybe somebody can remind me what that is. It's not a canna lily, but it's something like that. I should Google it and find out. But I decide just to do 3 flowers here. And as I'm looking at it, we obviously need a flower on the top of that middle stem. So I am going to finish up, put that flower on the top, and we're going to look at the final results here very soon. See you there. Let's go down for a close-up. This just turned out, I'm sorry for the glare. I'm loving these, the chain pull. These flowers are stunning. I wish a little bit more of the yellow showed through. It has in some areas. This is beautiful down here. It's gold. Chain pull, go all the way up. Look at that chain pull right there, and that edge, the top flower. Chain pulls are amazing, and you can do so much with them. And it is kind of busy, but it's beautiful busy. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this flower pop with the chain pull. I will be sure to show you the dried results without a glare. I will see you there. Here it is. It dried perfect. There isn't one flaw in this painting in the drying process. Look at the little bubbles from that gold. I am in love with this painting. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and all of my friends on this train. Take care, everyone. Till next time, I will see you at Angela Bliss Art Next.